Yeah, live.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. It is a joy and a privilege and an honor to be with you today to celebrate uh, not just, yes, some individuals, but the organizations and the projects that are making a difference and changing our world. Before we hop into those awards and honoring people from around the globe, let me tell you who I am. I'm Reverend Kelly Isola, and I am chair for the Greater Kansas City Interfaith Council in the United States in Kansas City, Missouri. And I do a lot of work around the world in lots of different ways. I do conflict transformation work. I work with faith based organizations. I do a lot of writing. I do a lot of teaching. I work with the Dialogue Institute and with the Journalists and Writers Foundation. I seem to have my hands in a lot of things. So when I say that it is an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to be with you today to talk about these awards, these pioneers in sustainable development goal awards, it really is. I am just in awe. As we go through the next hour and a half, you will see what I mean when I say that I am in awe of these projects these are truly individuals and organizations that are pioneers, that are on the leading edge of working hard to engage the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, whether it's in healthcare or around women and children and education and reducing violence and environment. And I'm just, it's just, I'm just in awe of the brilliance of humanity. Look around at some of the trauma that's being played out, in most every country, and if this gives me hope, this gives me inspiration. I'm in awe of just how powerful humanity is when we get creative, when we come together, when we know that we can make a difference, when we know that we can be the change we want to see. Just to tell you a little bit about the awards, the Pioneers in Sustainable Development Goals awards, um, the Journalists and Writers Foundation and its global partners host this award ceremony, and this year it's virtual. To recognize civil society organizations for their local projects, and they are exemplary models. They're inspiring others towards positive social change. Anybody can really do this, and that's what I have enjoyed about learning about each of these projects and being on a jury panel to review them. Is reminding me SDGs Awards pays tribute to outstanding individuals and organizations that contribute to sustainable peace. They promote peaceful and inclusive societies, protecting human rights, the rule of law, democratic values, empowering women and girls, youth, social justice, equal opportunities. Um, they're just committed to making the world a better place, to making the world um, a world that works for all of us. The projects were evaluated by an international jury, people from around the world, based on four criteria. So the first criteria was around innovation, finding creative solutions to address some of the global challenges that I previously mentioned. There's the other second criteria is stakeholders, meaning developing partnerships to share in the financial and human resources, because we don't do this alone. A scope of the project, meaning demonstrating a strategic plan, demonstrating, showing its implementation and its evaluation and the impact that it makes. And then the fourth one is impact, evidence of effective outcomes and effective outcomes that can be transferred to other places. That was one of the things I enjoyed so much about reviewing the projects, was I could start to see how a particular project in, say, Kenya, um, with a small group of girls doing one thing could be replicated elsewhere and in other ways. That was one of the biggest things that I noticed that was so powerful for me in reading through the projects and being able to contribute and be a part of this. So we're going to just move into to the rest of our time together. And first, I want to introduce, on behalf of the Journalists and Writers Foundation, like to hear our U.S. representative. We'll have to hear from Cemre Ülker.
Thank you so much, Kelly. Good afternoon, good evening, everyone, from wherever you are joining us to pay tribute to the change makers in our society and to applaud the best practices of individuals and institutions who are dedicated to be a part of the UN Development Agenda 2030. I would like to welcome you all to the Pioneers in SDGs award ceremony. This program is an initiative of the UNGA Conference, an annual global platform that gathers world leaders with the high-level delegates of member states and UN agencies together to discuss how to create peaceful and inclusive societies by implementing the Sustainable Development Goals both at local and global level. We had a very successful session yesterday with the participation of 21 distinguished experts from 11 different countries who have shared their years of experience in women empowerment and gender equality, implementing SDG number 16, and lessons learned from COVID-19. The conference gathered over 500 people from 47 countries all around the world. Yesterday, we have talked about 5 years of analysis for the implementation of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. And today, it is the time for action. We have received wonderful projects, all focusing on different sets of goals, mobilizing their partners, connecting stakeholders, and raising awareness on the development agenda. Everyone is a winner today, with their contributions to the successful implementation of the SDGs in different parts of the world. We are so excited to learn about their projects and recognize their actions towards transforming our world. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now we're going to hear from Dr. Reginald Nalugala. He is a professor at Tangaza University in Nairobi. So welcome.
Thank you very much, Reverend Kelly Stoller, for inviting me to speak. My theme this evening is about the significance of implementing Sustainable Development Goals through local projects 5 years on. Ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed, wherever you are, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. I thank the 2020 United Nations General Assembly Conference organizers for this invitation to deliver a brief keynote address as a member of the jury for the Pioneer in SDGs Awards 2020. I'll start by congratulating all the participants for these awards. My brief presentation is divided into 3 parts. The first part is just a brief synopsis on the transition from the Millennium Development Goals to Sustainable Development Goals. The second one will be about how projects have tried to incorporate SDGs in their programs. The third is a little bit controversial, but to help us to think, is understanding the language and the vocabulary used in SDGs as we build towards a culture of social transformation. The synopsis. The transition from the Millennium Development Goals in 2015 to Sustainable Development Goals helped to refocus better the agenda for improving quality of life and well-being of humanity, be it in fighting poverty, improving holistic health, education, gender, environment, migrants, refugees, and political detainees. While the Millennium Development Goals comprise 7 goals and over 140 indicators and targets, the SDGs have 17 goals and as many indicators and targets. In the past 5 years, we have seen great efforts by different agencies, organizations to incorporate in their projects the 17 goals and indicators to meet certain targets, incorporating SDGs community projects. In the last 5 years, the Journalists and Writers Foundation has been at the forefront of championing the incorporation of SDGs in community projects. The 2019 United Nations General Assembly Conference, a very good example how they did it. The theme was about transforming our world, inclusive social development for all. The JWF brought together many partners and collaborators to New York to articulate different responses to SDG number 16. What was captivating for all present was the interpretation of SDG 16 through the projects exhibited from the 5 continents. We know SDG 16 is about peace, justice, and strong institutions. Each project was categorized under these indicators and targets: inclusive social development in achieving the global goals for 2030, advancing youth through social and economic empowerment, protecting social, economic, and cultural rights. Awards were given to projects that try to showcase their commitment to humanity through SDG 16. The projects captured work on environment among migrants, refugees, political prisoners, marginalized groups, radicalized communities, extremism, and terror networks. For example, Zamba Bio project on organic farming to improve household incomes and food security, Japan Zambia Organic Association Farming. There was a project on canops for Africa, planting bamboo seedlings for cleaning the air and income generation in coastal region of Kenya by Consortium Bamboo Equator and Golden Climate Kenya. The Young Peace Builders catchphrase, drop the phone and let us talk, about inclusiveness, TCC, Brooklyn, and Kings Bay, USA. Women Against Violent Extremism in the Horn of Africa, a project by Women in the International Security Horn of Africa, Kenya. Storytelling for fundraising, narratives for peace building, social cultural rights from Rwanda, Chad, and USA. Concerts for refugees on war, fighting xenophobia in South Africa by Turkey's Harmony Institute. The UN Model and Simulation Games Inclusion Through Sports, UNA Argentina. Keep a Child in School, Save Future Uganda. Concert for 3 Cultures, ARCO Forum, UNESCO Center, Getafe, Spain. Nile Dialogue Platform, Uganda, washing cars to support the vulnerable. International Meeting Intellectuals by Mirinas, Russia. Human Rights Peace Building and Nonviolence by Mahatma Gandhi Foundation, Nelson Mandela Foundation, and Craig Foster, Australia. Using basketball to give meaning to humanity, to harmony, coexistence by N.S. Carter Foundation. So the 2020 Pioneers Award projects shortlisted were requested to showcase how they applied in their projects any of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And I would say that this organization did not disappoint. The Green Hope Foundation, working in 16 countries, using music to support the youth in SDG number 4, 5, 7, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. I was particularly interested in SDG number 4 that talks about education. ACAD interfaith projects in East Africa, Save Detox Lake Victoria from chemicals and use water hygiene by weaving baskets. Looked at SDG number 3, it's about health, SDG number 6, 15, and 16, and even 17, where the international community comes together for a common purpose. EMIC Culture Union Hong Kong, turning cultural heritage into product and service for improving incomes among women, SDG 4 and 5. SDG 5 is about women's equality, gender equality. Ambassadors of Humanity by students from University of Nairobi, building on cohesion and integration, looking at SDG 4, 5, and 16. Community Europe, intercultural dialogue, where they're fighting to prevent radicalization and extremism, use SDG number 16. The Kamuji Community Peace Network, fighting radicalization and violent extremism in the slums of Nairobi, by looking at SDG number 4, 5, and 16. 100-mile hunger walk to promote war on hunger, using SDG number 2 and 17 for global concern. The Tunu Football Club, sports for girls and giving to education, looking at SDG number 4 and 5. Turkey's Harmony Institute, We're using language conversation and integration classes for refugees and migrants in South Africa, where they're trying to fight xenophobia and giving opportunity to women, looking at SDG 4, 5, and 16. So I thank all these participants for their contribution in articulating the SDGs. My last part here is about the use of language and vocabulary when we're implementing the SDGs. I just picked out a concern that it seems to be becoming very popular. There's this concern the type of language used by community development programs since the launch of Human Development Program 1990. The language influences how we articulate variables for research, indicators, and targets of our projects. For example, Mahbub ul Haq and Amartya Sen, while delivering the UNDP speech for the launch of the Human Development Goals, they asked the question, what is human development? Human development, or the human development approach, is about expanding richness of human life rather than simply the richness of the economy in which human beings live. It is an approach that is focused on people and their opportunities and choices. The focus is about people or the humanity, no color, no race, no gender, no creed, no physical condition, but people. These people should be exposed perhaps to 1 million opportunities or more. Then ask each one of them to make choices that they feel they are comfortable with. Which one will be the best for women, for the youth, for all humanity? So we are creating an enabling environment where each and every person can pursue their full potential rather than just looking at empowerment. Different cultures will misinterpret empowerment, and the empowerment can easily lead to disempowerment because the one who pays the piper calls the tune. The one who gives you power controls you. But the one who creates an enabling environment actually gives you power to manage your own life. So thank you very much. And I would like to congratulate again the pioneers in our awards, participants, and all the winners for the great work you have done. I thank the organizers of this conference, the opportunity to speak. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Nalagala. I realized as you were speaking that I don't know if people realize, just as I was scrolling through the projects, all the countries that are impacted by these projects. There's, Canada and China and the US and Belgium and Germany and India and Liberia, the Middle East, Vietnam, just Bangladesh. I mean, the list of countries impacted by these projects is just, it's just empowering, it's inspiring, and I'm just amazed. So I thank you for bringing that even further to light.
Thank you.
Yep. We're going to show a video now of, it's kind of an intro. We've heard a little bit about the Pioneer in Sustainable Development Goals, but we have an intro video that we'd like to show to provide some more information.
Pioneers in SDGs Awards. Call for projects. 24 September 2020. The Pioneers in SDGs Awards pay tribute to outstanding individuals and organizations that contribute to sustainable peace and development through innovative and creative projects. Promoting peaceful and inclusive societies, protecting human rights, the rule of law, and democratic values. Empowering women, girls, and youth for social justice and equal opportunities play an essential role in achieving sustainable development goals worldwide. We call on civil society organizations to submit projects, which will serve as exemplary models, inspiring others towards positive social change and contributing to the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Our international jury will evaluate the projects by considering 4 criteria: innovation, finding creative solutions to address global challenges; stakeholders, developing partnerships to share financial and human resources; scope, demonstration of strategic planning, implementation, and evaluation; impact, evidence of effective outcomes that can be transferred to other places; awards, first place, $1,000 and recognition award; Second place, $750 and recognition award. Third place, $500 and recognition award. The Pioneers in SDGs Awards will be presented during the UNGA conference on September 24th, 2020. Please submit your project on our website at www.unga-conference.org.
So I think we move into our time of presenting the awards, which is very exciting for me because I get to announce it. I understand people didn't know ahead of time. So we're going to start with third place. SDG, Pioneer and SDG Award. Hold on. I think we move into our time of presenting the awards. Okay, sorry about that. I think we might have a little hiccup going on. So I'm gonna keep moving and move into the excitement of the awards because I know everybody's waiting patiently, and well-deserving people. And again, remembering that that while I know that each of the individuals that I call and their project, that each one of them has, does this work as, just like me, not for the individual recognition, but for because they're just passionate and know and that there's a difference that can be made in the world, and there's a way to do it, and have taken their skills and their creativity and their energy and innovation and put feet on it, and to show that anything is possible, and not doing it alone, but bringing lots of people together that have the same passion, that have the same energy, have the same desires and the same goals. So our third place winner is, and as soon as I say their name, they're going to bring their picture We'll introduce, we'll say a little bit about the project. It's a language conversation and integration classes for refugee and migrant women in South Africa. And so congratulations.
Hi, everyone.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. Must I tell you about my project?
If you could tell us just a little bit.
Okay, or will you first play the video?
I believe there's a video.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think we may have lost the video for a moment.
Okay.
So why don't you go ahead and just tell us a little bit about the project, and then we can figure out and get the video going. But I think we'd love to hear from you.
Okay. I am, good evening, everyone. I know it's the different parts of the different times in different parts of the world, but I'm sending my greetings to each and everyone from a lovely Johannesburg spring evening. I want to tell you about the language and adaptation classes for refugee women in Johannesburg, but I want to share my screen because I want to use my PowerPoint presentation. Yes. I'm from Turquoise Harmony Institute in South Africa. I am Ayşegül, Director for Women Platform. Turquoise Harmony Institute was established in 2016 in South Africa in different parts of the country, including Johannesburg, Cape Town, and Durban. We have always been driven by teachings of Fethullah Gülen about love, peace, and tolerance. And we encourage and facilitate exchange of views and experiences between different parts of the society and engage in activities that are aimed at stimulating critical thinking and analysis of affairs affecting the lives of all people. And with our activities, we aim to promote dialogue, tolerance, and understanding amongst the people of South Africa and the world. And when it comes to our project, before I start telling more about my project, I want to share some facts about refugees in South Africa. And South Africa, interestingly, is the home to the highest number of unresolved asylum cases in the world. And most of the refugees are from Bangladesh, Ethiopia, Congo, Rwanda, Somalia, and Zimbabwe. And unfortunately, South Africa has more refugees than it can handle. And what makes this more interesting is that South Africa does not have any refugee camps. And this, unfortunately, refugees live mostly without assistance in the urban areas. So we decided to focus on refugees, especially refugee women, to make things easier for them in terms of their inclusion in the host society. Now, what about we are focusing the challenges here, but the main challenge that we are focusing as Turquoise Harmony Institute is language barrier. Besides other, like documentation is a big problem, because I told you, South Africa is having more refugees, more than what it can handle. And xenophobia, xenophobic attacks is another problem. Taking care of their children in a new environment, living with insecurity, and living with the fear of sexual abuse and violence, isolation and loneliness are some of the challenges that refugees, but specifically refugee women in South Africa. But we are focusing on language barrier in this project. And according to us, language barrier and researchers, it hinders effective communication with the local, and it's the major challenge for looking for decent jobs, and it hampers access to effective healthcare services, education services, and it prevents people involving in their children's schooling, unfortunately, and it can also lead more isolation and loneliness, and it is a big obstacle in front of social and economic integration of the refugees. So with this project, what we aim, actually we want to help the refugee women equip with the ways of living in South Africa. It's not only about language, but it's also showing them the ways of South Africa, including healthcare system, education system, the process of applying for the refugee status and being an asylum seeker, etc. And the second one is we want them to follow up their documentation process themselves more confidently, and so that they can get more involved in their children's schooling, and most importantly, their economic inclusion in the country is very important. So if they improve their language skills, it means they can apply for more decent work for themselves and to feed their families, and develop confidence in terms of social inclusion. And also with our skills development classes, we wanted to make them aware of their skills, knowledge, and experiences they have brought to the country with themselves. So these are what we aim. And the targeted sustainable development goals is goal number 5, gender equality, and because we are always planning to empower the women in terms of linguistic inclusion and decent work and economic growth. Goal number 8. Goal number 10, reduced inequalities, and lastly, the last one, goal number 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions. And this is a photo of one of our certificate giving ceremony and of 12 weeks of courses. And what about the format? This is the last thing that I want to mention. With a view to combat the social exclusion of refugee women and migrants and to promote their smooth integration into South African society, Turquoise Harmony Institute provides free intense courses in English adapted to the particular daily needs of the participants, as well as skills development classes, including baking, sewing, and patchwork. And the teaching materials and the lesson plans have been developed in such a way that they can speak English on a basic level and carry on their lives in the host country more confidently. Language classes are designed to meet everyday conversational needs of the participants, and with specific chosen themes such as governing body of South Africa, healthcare system, education system, and refugee policies, etc. The participants will learn how to express themselves in certain places and in certain occasions. And the classes are held for 12 weeks and with 4 weeks of skills development. But my last words, because of the current pandemic and lockdown in South Africa and the world, we offer these classes via WhatsApp. The lessons were edited to fit in an online format by recording the lessons as voice notes, as well as preparing worksheets, flashcards accordingly. The group participants are kept active and involved by assignments and various discussion topics on WhatsApp. And because, you know, some of the refugees are financially struggling, we are approaching some sponsors to keep them with data, to sponsor them with their data so they can carry on their learning without any interruption. This is all I want to say. I really want to thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. This was one of the projects that when I read it, I really got a sense of how you could replicate this. So especially when you started talking about the WhatsApp. So we have an intro video about the project. Let's watch that.
Moving to a new country, forcibly or voluntarily, is a life-changing experience that comes with different challenges. Some of these challenges, especially for refugee women, are language barrier, isolation, and loneliness, living with insecurity, taking care of children in a foreign environment, tackling xenophobia, and finding a decent job. We, as Turquoise Harmony Institute, with this project are focusing on women's empowerment and eliminating the language barrier for refugee women, as learning the host community's language is central to this new beginning and goes hand in hand with adapting and integrating to a new culture. The importance of language in schools, training centers, and workplaces cannot be underestimated in refugee communities, especially given that so often they find themselves economically, socially, and politically marginalized. With a view to combat the social exclusion of refugee women and migrants and promote their smooth integration into South African society, Turquoise Harmony Institute provides free intense courses in English, adapted to the particular daily needs of the participants, as well as skills development classes, including baking and sewing. The teaching materials and lesson plans have been developed in such a way that they can speak English on a basic level and carry on their lives more confidently. Because of the current pandemic and lockdown in South Africa and the world, we offer these classes via mobile communication platforms, which participants can get access to without any problem. Through these classes, we aim to assist refugee and migrant women develop their English, but remind them of the skills, knowledge, and experience they already have to be economically and socially active in the society, so they can apply for more decent jobs to take care of themselves and their families, get more involved in their children's schooling, follow up the legal documentation process for themselves and their families in a more effective way, and familiarize themselves with the ways of living in South Africa. Please contact us if you want to learn more about the program or if you want to assist in any way. Turquoise Harmony Institute, so we may know one another.
That's a wonderful line. So we may know one another. So congratulations. Congratulations. if you saw the web address, I would encourage anyone watching to go ahead and find out more, because I honestly believe that's a program, whether you're involved with them in South Africa, but it's also a program that could be replicated wherever you are. So congratulations, Turquoise Harmony Institute. Okay, so now we're moving on to our second place winner. And our second place winner is... And congratulations. Congratulations. So Kekasha Basu is the founder and president, and we're going to hear from her a little bit.
Hello, my name is Kehkasha. I am the 20-year-old founder-president of global social innovation enterprise Green Hope Foundation, whose mission is to educate and empower children and youth, especially girls and those from vulnerable communities, using education for sustainable development as a transformative tool to provide them with the knowledge, skills, attitudes, values, and behaviors required to think and act for a sustainable future. Our world has more young people than ever before, yet we continue to be marginalized. And our goal is to bridge this inequality through education. Since its inception 8 years ago, Green Hope Foundation has evolved into a global organization with 2,060 youth members working at a grassroots level in 16 countries. Our unique advocacy tool, called Environment Academies, uses innovative modes of communication such as art, music, dance, drama, and sport. And we have directly educated over 80,000 young people, Syrian refugees, Rohingya refugees, children of prisoners in Nepal and Kenya, HIV-positive children, and those living in orphanages in India, Bangladesh, Suriname, and Indonesia, as well as children in the USA, Canada, and other developed nations who are fortunate enough to go to school. Green Hope is also working to build resilience from the impacts of COVID-19 in Bangladesh, providing food, soaps, masks, as well as training in sanitation and hygiene to poor people living in the slums of cities. We are also working in rural Bangladesh, supporting villagers who have lost their sources of income due to the pandemic. We are addressing the economic situation by training the residents on sustainable farming, poultry, and thereafter providing seeds and poultry for them to become self-employed entrepreneurs. We are also educating them on hygiene and sanitation, as well as providing sustainability education to their children. We have provided water filters to each house. Our project's objective is to establish a local circular economy in these vulnerable rural communities and help to build back better from this pandemic. The time for talking and shouting slogans is over. We must act now. Together, let us change the world.
Thank you for that. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And it is an honor to receive this prize. And should I start sharing my screen?
Sure.
Okay, awesome. Let me see that. Great. So once again, I'd like to begin by saying thank you for this award. My name is Kehkasha Basu. I am a United Nations Human Rights Champion, the winner of the 2016 International Children's Peace Prize, and of course, the founder president of Green Hope Foundation. 5 years ago, in 2015, when I was 15 years old, I was one of the 193 young people, each representing a UN member state, witnessing the adoption of the UN Sustainable Development Goals during the UN General Assembly. So our mantra at Green Hope is to localize the SDGs, bringing together the 5 Ps of sustainable development. That's prosperity of people and our planet through partnerships, thereby creating peaceful, just, inclusive, and resilient societies. And what we realized was that the work that we started in 2012 was directly linked to these goals. So all we had to do now was to connect them. As you just saw in our video, education for sustainable development and SDG 4 are at the core of Green Hope Foundation's work, which we use in our sustainability academies that are tailor-made workshops and conferences that promote capacity building and teach participants how to localize the SDGs and then take actions in their own zones of influence. And we've conducted over 180 academies worldwide with an outreach of over 97,000 young people in 25 countries. And we work not only in urban areas with children who have formal education, but we focus specifically on children and youth from marginalized communities. And once again, as you saw in our video, we link goals 4 and 10. We've engaged Rohingya refugee children, Syrian refugee children, homes for children of prisoners, homes for HIV positive children, children on the streets, just to implement the SDGs mandate of leaving no one behind and achieving a life of dignity for all. And since most of these children don't have access to formal education, we use music, art, dance, drama, sport, fashion, and writing to spread awareness. And since most of them also don't know English and don't know how to read and write, these creative modes really help to engage them in this process and help them to express their ideas and bringing about change. To implement Goal 5, gender equality, we focus on empowering women in marginalized societies, and we engage them in sustainable fishing, sustainable farming, skills education like soap making, sustainable finance, and we also conduct workshops for the women on how they can protect themselves from sexual assault, and not just themselves, but also their children. In order to also truly leave no one behind, Green Hope Foundation conducts workshops at retirement homes so as to achieve intergenerational solidarity, engaging priests and nuns who were peace workers when they were young. To ensure the implementation of SDG 7, we have distributed solar lamps to thousands across all age groups through our grassroots advocacy in the Run of Kutch, the salt pans of India, in Nepal, and in the villages of the Sundarbans, the world's largest mangrove forest in India and in Bangladesh. So to complement our conferences and workshops with ground level work at the grassroots level, because we need to take action on the ground to achieve the SDGs, we have planted more than 90,000 trees globally to mitigate climate change, Goal 13, and to also preserve life on land. We've also planted over 5,000 mangroves. We work on sea and river turtle conservation in line with Goal 14 in different parts of the world. We also work extensively on sustainable cities, Goal 11, and we have conducted over 165 cleanups of beaches, parks, canals, ravines, enabling urban denizens to learn how to consume responsibly, Goal 12. And we also work with the private sector and industries, Goal 9, and engage hotels to practice sustainable tourism by educating their employees on recycling, waste management, using locally sourced ethical products, as well as the construction industry conducting workshops for their engineers and architects on how to make their buildings more sustainable. Green Hope Foundation also promotes peace and nuclear disarmament education, linking Goals 16 and 4 so that people are aware of the threats to global peace and then they can take action. So our advocacy for peace and disarmament ranges from speaking and having our voices heard at the high level forums, including at the United Nations, through video messages, toolkits, online campaigns. And these include our We Want Books, Not Nukes campaign, our peace song, and our debate that we organized during the pandemic to get more children and youth involved in the topic of nuclear disarmament. And we also use art and music to spread awareness to help children comprehend how they can take steps to achieve peace in their own communities. And during the pandemic, as you saw in the video, that our work focuses primarily on Goal 3 and Goal 6. And in Bangladesh, Green Hope has been working tirelessly to distribute sanitation kits that have masks, antiseptic soaps, sanitary napkins, sanitizers, provided water filters for communities that don't have clean water, educating children about the environment, hygiene, protection from violence, and planting indigenous trees for peace and climate justice. And to implement Goal 17, Green Hope Foundation is partnered with Wangari Maathai's Green Belt Movement, Jane Goodall's Roots and Shoots, World Bank's Climate Change Initiative Connect for Climate, the BICE Education Board, the Toronto District School Board, the Youth Parliament of Suriname, and has a club at the University of Toronto. So we firmly believe that the SDGs depends on, the achievement of the SDGs depends on each and every individual, and we cannot allow the pandemic to slow us down. So we need to build that better and stronger so that we can truly fulfill the SDGs mandate of leaving no one behind and ensuring a life of dignity for all, which is exactly the mission and vision of Green Hope Foundation. So once again, thank you so much. And I look forward to meeting and sharing ideas with such like-minded people. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't think anyone could watch that and not think that you can't be active even in a pandemic. There's online gives us even sometimes, I think, a greater network, like to connect even places we couldn't imagine. Thank you so much for all of your work and continued work. And I'm sure you will absolutely continue to inspire more and more. And it's an inspiring example of what one individual can do, right? One individual and the next one and the next one. And so thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. And so on to our next award. And our first place winner is... Well, congratulations. And we are welcoming, I believe, Dorcas Ketterer.
This was the cradle of aquatic civilization dating back thousands of years, and their descendants still populate the lake shores, trying to make a livelihood as but much has changed. We're here to investigate the crisis lurking in the deep, just how solid, despite appearance, the water is, and the human cost of that contamination. With the help of scientists from the University of Nairobi Department of Public Health and Toxicology, and collecting samples from the lake shores in Muhuru Bay to Jinja, where the Nile begins its journey to the Mediterranean Sea, we set out to find out how man's poison has weakened the pulse of East Africa's blue heart. Local fishermen like Michael Otieno have a harder time finding anything at all. The degraded quality of the lake's waters has made it that much harder for fish to breed. The most cherished fish, the tastiest, and the most valuable have disappeared.
It's not good enough now that the lake is very dirty and the shoreline is also very muddy. So fish like tilapia cannot find room to breed because they need shallow, sandy, sheltered bays to breed. So with that, without breeding, then no restocking. So less fish. So what we have now in the Gulf is kamongo, the langfish. So when you find kamongo, the langfish, like what I've told you, you only find it where it is dirty. Now we have lost labeuningo. We have lost fuani. Those are the local names for them. We have lost mbiru. We have lost so much species of fish. In fact, if you asked the people that used to fish before we came, they will tell you they have lost over 20 species of fish.
I'm Christopher Aura, Assistant Director, Freshwater Systems Research, and also the Center Director, Kenya Marine and Fisheries Research Institute, Kisumu. Now, as Chemfree, we take risks involving water and the fauna. The health of the lake, as I would say, it's in a deteriorating state. And of course, from a layman point of view, you can look at the water transparent, the way the water is looking. From the water color will tell you what is the status of the lake at that point. In the years 2000, we used to have about 2,000 tons of fish, or it was in the neighborhood of 169,000 tons. But we have had a 20% decline of fish catch. And right now, on average, we are having about 115,000 tons of fish.
Their research helps explain why the lake's native bounty, including the much sought-after tilapia, known locally as gege, has been dying out, and how man's hand wrote their doom.
We are seeing more of tilapia being affected when we are talking about invasive species, water pollution.
Much more than the patch of the lanes.
77 ilikuwa samaki nyingi kabisa, kwa maana maji ilikuwa safi, na siku hizi hakuna samaki because of dirty water.
The lake is the soul of the city, but the city casts a large shadow over the lake and its future. The people have been sucking the life out of it.
This heritage that God gave us in terms of Lake Victoria, how are we looking after it? And to what extent can we safeguard it for the future? Remember the biblical story. The man who gave some of his servants 3 talents. We were given this lake, the second biggest freshwater lake in the world. And we are just not looking after it.
Industrial pollution and sewage and the still widespread practice of open defecation have made this stretch of the lake a toxic soup, teeming with evil.
By the look of it, it looks like we have very high algae. It's known that green algae would actually be resulting from very high nitrogen levels and phosphorus, which essentially would be coming from organic waste. And organic waste, of course, would be generated from human. We will test the water for microbial contamination that, of course, will be coming from sewer, untreated sewer, or directed discharge, and chemical waste that may be coming from industries.
We took samples on the lake along the industrial stretch that houses Equita Bottles, the franchised bottlers of Coca-Cola in Kisumu, to the Kenya Pipeline Company.
We pick the water and test it at that level, but we'll move a little bit deeper and pick the sediments. Now, sediments will help us to look at the over a longer time because it will accumulate. These chemicals will accumulate in the sediments. So when we take sediments, we're able to pick a better picture of what has been happening over time. We're also picking aquatic animals. And in fish, the most important thing we test are the chemicals, because fish are known to accumulate chemicals.
Well, a whole lot of problems is what River Kisat brings into the lake. Indeed, the river is troubled from source. A swamp east of Kisumu that has now been cleared to make way for maize and sorghum fields to the mouth, where it drains its grime into the lake. Further downstream, the river meets another slimy flow, an evil-looking black from the city's water treatment plant, run by the Kisumu Water and Sewerage Company, Kiwasco.
These are the things that annoys me, because Kiwasco is our company. And sitting on the board of Kiwasco is the Minister for Finance, the Minister for Water and Environment, and the city manager.
Franchised bottlers of Coca-Cola in Kisumu was one of those flagged. A team of inspectors from the regulator, the Water Resources Authority, the Kenya Marine and Fisheries Research Institute, and Kiwasco investigated allegations that the company was discharging effluent directly to the lake. Also of concern was the waste from the East Africa Seafood Limited, a company that processes Nile perch from the lake for export and imports tilapia and other fish from China, and Kibos Sugar. Their vision to be the home of simple sweetness and the reality seem to flow in different directions. Relations between the company and locals have simply soured over the future of River Kibos.
Into the river, we must go undercover. This I took before going to court. This is the river. This is the factory.
At the outset, Benson Ambuti Adega cuts the image of a firebrand revolutionary. He is leading the crusade to save Kibos River from the alleged pollution by Kibos Sugar Company.
Are you going there?
At times, he claims, at great risk to his own life.
You can't use that water. That water is smelling. Can you even wash your hand with the smelling water? I was born in this area. We used to take that water directly from the river. We do grazing with the same water. Now we can't use it. We depend on the pipe water, which sometimes it passed. You can't access it.
Filed a civil suit at the Environment and Land Court in Kisumu against the Kibos Industries for failing to comply with NEMA regulations on effluent discharge, and against the National Environment Management Authority and the county government of Kisumu for failing to stop the company's operations.
They don't represent the community. We had been crying, no one to come out. So I decided, as a man, with a single hand, I talked to my legal team. I talked to them, they are doing for me pro bono petition. This is a matter of life and death. If we can't protect our environment, we don't have future generation. We are not against any investor in our community. We are happy with the investment, but they have to follow the right procedure. I'll deal with this thing to the end. Whether it will take my life, but I will save the life of our future generation.
We took samples of the effluent from the factory to find out for ourselves what is veiled in the troubled waters. All this slime that drains into the lake allows the toxic algae and other invasive plants to flourish, cutting off the oxygen supply for all other forms of life. And so this prized asset has been deteriorating, and its treasure trove of diversity is nearly gone.
In all the areas that you sampled, in all the rivers, in all the various parts of the lake, at different depths, all the samples contains one or more of the toxicants that we are looking for. I can authoritatively say that based on what we found, the lake contains chemicals and bacteria and other disease-causing organisms, which would be of very serious concern, considering the high increase in incidences of many diseases. Cancer today has become a very serious problem. People don't know where it is coming from. But I, as a toxicologist, I can say without doubt that some of these chemicals are responsible for the increase in those diseases.
And a freshwater lake is much easier to clean of affluents if we are serious. I don't think this is
Mr. Malal. Yeah?
In fact, in the regional environment as a whole, to ensure that we don't let the lake decay.
So congratulations, Marcus.
Thank you very much. I couldn't breathe. Thank you so much. I'm so excited with my team here. Good evening, good afternoon to the OX, the Journalists and the Writer Foundation, and the United Nations SDG program.
So we're having a hard time. We can't hear you, Dorcas. Maybe there's another one of your group that would be willing to speak.
Professor Ezekiel Okemwa, Chairman of CANOPS.
Thank you.
Greeting to my audience in New York and the friends I met last year, 2019. Curatorium Bambo Equator as academic interface interfaith, Kenya, Swiss, Turkey, UN civil society is based on 7 like-minded organizations. To be inclusive, we have chosen 7 relevant and independent SDGs, topic covering humanitarian, immunological, meteorological, environmental, economic, social, and political conditions we are facing after 60 years of detrimental development, focusing only on Milton Friedman, catch as cash can, policies by the 3 custodian countries, Tanzania, Uganda, and Kenya. The holistic blueprint that rehabilitate the Winam Gulf to save Lake Victoria starts with using 5 SDGs. That is number 3, 6, 15, 16, and 17. We have started with number 1, reforestation of the tributary river rainwater towers. Number 2, we are doing detoxification of the rivers by reducing agrofertilizer and pesticides runoff by legal means and adoption on canopies along the rivers and floating bamboo phytomediation islands in the river mouths. Number 3, the removal and recycling of water hyacinth menace will be presented by our team in Kisumu. And that is what Dorcas was talking about a few minutes ago. Number 4, the planned vocational research community with integrated the fisher community and ensure the new breeding technologies in dead lakes by using the Swiss oxygen control cage breeding and the FAO developed processing and conservation without freezing the fish. Lastly, number 5, we have allocated a beach plot to establish 4 of the FAO FTT offense tested with women groups in Senegal. Mr. Chairman, our drinking water expert, CEO of Blue Wave, and my deputy will give you a short overview in goal number 6, the water situation in Kenya, my vice chairman.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon.
So we can't hear you.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. I'm called Benson Ogola, and I'm the deputy chairman, as the professor said. I'm a water practitioner, so water interests me very much. Goal number 6, the SDG goal number 6 interests me very much. On 1st January 2016, the SDGs were promulgated, and there began the journey towards 2030. In retrospect, we see that we have done a lot, but we also acknowledge that in some ways, we have not made as much progress as we would have desired. Nevertheless, we cannot slow down, as the task at hand is too important and the time too short. Despite the fact that there has been massive pollution of water sources in Kenya, as you can see from Lake Victoria, local communities have been compelled to use the water for lack of realistic options. This compulsion is underpinned by a deadly mixture of sometimes misinformation, ignorance, if you like, pollution of water sources, poverty and traditions. This poses a great danger to these communities as well as to others, of course. And we realize that the 6th SDG cannot be achieved in isolation, as it has overlapping considerations with SDG goals number 4, number 9, 12, 15, 16, and 17. To achieve the 6th SDG, we have to reflect back on the more than 4 years since the promulgation of the SDG project. One thing which needs to be done is to do more sensitization of the communities in order to make them more active partners than they are at present. Our success will depend on how well we employ the knowledge of their capabilities, sensitivities, and limitations, and use them to our best advantage in terms of furthering the SDG goals. Tied to all these is the fact that the current levels of poverty prevalent in many areas does not immediately facilitate provision of clean, safe water to all. The focus should therefore be situational fixing. For example, if a home cannot afford a water closet, can they be assisted to acquire sustainably managed pit latrine as a first step to improve sanitation? Remember, sanitation is a 6th goal of the SDG. The next step from here is to develop and actualize a plan of action to achieve the sixth SDG using what we have learned in the last 4 years or so. Remember, the Kenyan Nobel Prize winner, Peace Prize winner and distinguished environmentalist, the late Professor Wangari Maathai, warned that Mother Nature is very unforgiving if we mess with her. We ask, are the chickens coming home to roost for us? We must act now. Tomorrow is too late. Thank you, and you'll be blessed.
Thank you very much. Thank you to all of you, and congratulations. Really, congratulations. You demonstrated, like the other pioneers and organizations and individuals, just how connected life really is, and that each SDG goal just supports the next one and the next one and the next one. So thank you. Thank you very much. And we're going to move on to our next
I have
category.
to remove my mask.
We're going to move on to our next category of awards.
Good evening, New York. Merhaba and iyi akşamlar. Live from Mombasa.
We're going to move on to our next category. We have to move on to our next category of awards. I need someone to So thank you to all of you. If you could mute yourselves and turn off your cameras. We need to move to our section, our next category of awards. And
good evening.
The first one is the Innovation Award, and as you just saw, the Prevention and Countering Violent Extremism is the Innovation Award, and we are going to hear from, I believe, Samuel Omogi to tell us a little bit about that award, a little bit about the organization, the Prevention and Countering Violent Extremism, supporting the formation of Kamukunji Sub-County CVE Network. Is Samuel on the line? I don't. Okay, I don't see. I don't know if anyone else is aware. So I guess we'll move on to our next award. Benson, you're welcome to turn your camera off. So let's move on to our next award, which is the Stakeholders Award. And the winner is? Congratulations, community. And I believe Ludmila Malai, if I said that correctly, is here. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So tell us a little bit more about community.
Yes, maybe I can share my screen and show a short video about the project. Then I can also briefly introduce some additional detail. Okay, just 1 second. All right. I guess everyone can see now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So as you could see, our project is in progress. So we couldn't really define our impact criteria. The project has been running for a year now, and the main aim of it is to prevent radicalization among young people by the means of culture, of arts. So what we do actually is we put art and culture to the service of peace and in the hands of young people. We want to really create communities of young people, groups of young people where they can explore their identities, or they can find ways of expressing themselves, where they can find a community to engage with, a voice. And therefore, we aim to reach out to young people and help them deal with issues such as discrimination, such as feeling of being unfairly treated, such as feeling of isolation, of loneliness. So what we do is we create these culture art groups in different countries, as you saw, 7 countries, 7 European countries, in at least 12 different European cities, and they have the chance to do workshops to learn how to, for example, how to paint graffiti, how to photograph, how to make photos, how to paint, how to play an instrument. So we try to promote all this artistic activity and see how that can help people enhance, especially young people, enhance their feeling of belonging to a community. And we do that through a design thinking method. And we are now trying to test how activities as arts, as cultural activities, can really help young people have this feeling of social cohesion, and therefore avoiding feeling into the trap of radical ideas. Because when you feel that you belong to a community, it's less likely that you are going to develop or to embrace radical ideas. So that's the main aim of our community project, and we maybe will update you of what's upcoming, because of the pandemic, we really had difficulties implementing activities offline. So we had to make a lot of activities online, which is maybe not the ideal case for this kind of project. But we will update you of what's coming in the next year, hopefully. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. I don't have any doubt that you will, as innovative as you are and creative, that your organization will find a way to do this online. There is nothing we can't do. And I was it was all the projects inspired me, and some for different reasons. And this project inspired me because of the focus on the art and the culture. And sometimes, humans were communicating in symbols before language. And so it just reminds me of that sometimes we don't have the words to say what we want to say, but yet through music or art or, through sort of some of the nonverbal ways we can express what's going on for us. We can find a sense of belonging. I'm really happy for you guys, and congratulations. And again, it's another one of those projects that I could see being duplicated, around the world for everybody. So
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, I think Samuel Amogi can talk now about the award that the Innovation Award, the Prevention and Countering Violent Extremism. Is Samuel on? I don't see him. Okay, then we're going to keep moving. And our next award is the Scope Award. And the winner is? Congratulations. And I believe we have Damaris Njoki Mungai here to speak on behalf. Hi, congratulations.
Hello. Thank you very much. Hi, everybody. We quite didn't expect this. I'll be talking about Tuno Foundation, and we've been dealing with SDG number 1, 3, and 5. Number 1 being no poverty. Number 3, good health and well-being. Number 5, gender equality. So Tunu Foundation was created by 2 sisters. My sister is 16 and I'm 21. Statistics have it in Kenya that 1 in 2 girls face sexual violence within their childhood home even before they turn 18. And 1 in 5 females have been sexually assaulted before they turn 18. 2 in 3 women who live in informal settlements and in rural areas are sexually assaulted, and they rely on their sexual partners for them to provide the necessary equipment that they need during their menstrual period. A few months ago, our president declared teenage pregnancies as a national crisis. This is because cases of up to 8,000 girls between the age of 10 to 14 were declared pregnant. So Tunu Foundation created Tunu Football Club, where girls come together to play football and commune together as sisters, talk about things that affect them, to talk about sexual violence, talk about consent, talk about things that affect them in the community. Besides talking and encouraging each other, educating each other, the girls also receive hygiene packs and food packages, so that they cannot go out there and associate themselves with the sexual. Tunu Foundation was created from the need to address the issues raised by the statistics that have happened between the past 3 to 6 months. And Tunu Foundation deals basically with 2 main things. Number 1, it's period poverty, whereby we provide for the girls sanitation products ranging from pads to soap, tissue, panties, and also food. And the future of Tunu Foundation is basically to access girls who have been sexually assaulted from commencement of the sexual assaults, whereby we will take them to hospital where they can get all the medical care and psychological counseling that they require. then take them through the legal process for those who want legal services, and then put them up in safe houses whereby they can be taught skills such as computer skills, accounting skills, basic skills that they can use to improve themselves economically. And by the end of that, the girls will be reintegrated into the community when they are ready to get back to the community. And that is basically it about Tuno Foundation. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much, and congratulations.
So much for the award.
I'm sorry?
Thank you for the award. We are happy.
Well, I have seen many organizations that you see the success when you focus on girls, when you focus on, and I'm not excluding boys or men. I just know that the power of focusing on girls to empower and inspire and keep us moving forward in the right direction. So congratulations again. And so now we move into our next award, the Impact Award, and the winner is and congratulations, Venus Chan.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. What a surprise. It's really a surprise.
It's a good surprise. We need those.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Good evening or good afternoon, but now it's midnight in Hong Kong. So good night. Greeting from Hong Kong. And thank you for such a surprise that we get the impact. Yes. Okay. I would like to share a bit more on our project, that why we are focused on culture as the base and of development. I try to I introduce a bit about myself. Sorry, the light is too light. I'm the program director and the co-founder of Image Culture Union HK, and I myself a development anthropologist, and which actually I'm specialist in project design, monitoring, and evaluation. So I'm a practitioner. I also doing research, and I also evaluate project. So that's why it comes out. We try to anthropologists will put culture as the very important element in development, and in its fact is that in its rich diversity, culture has a very intrinsic value for development as well as social coherence and peace. So while we work with community with different cultures, well, in China, we use the name ethnic minorities, or in some other countries, they use indigenous group. And we work with women and the most vulnerable group in the community. And we also work with children and old people too, but we are more focused on women because we try to empower them so that they can help themselves to have a dignity life and they can influence people. So, well, I go back to our project goal. We try to develop a project model which build upon the Shui culture. Well, actually, Shui is one of the ethnic minority in China. Well, actually, there are 56 ethnic minorities in China, and we're not talking about all other lot of indigenous people in the world. So actually, we would like to build upon the Shui culture resource, push forward women's participation in cultural heritage matters, which uplifting the economic independency of Sui women as well as allowing the inheritance of the Sui cultural heritage. So in a very general idea, we would like to develop and to empower the women into a loop of understanding that they're not necessarily moving anywhere to fight for income, very small amount of income, and they left their children and their family behind in the village, in the community. But the very little income they earned from cities isn't enough to cover the expenses. So we want to portray one thing is that they can make use of anything cultural resources. We're talking about tangible, intangible, or anything from the community. We can make use of them, and they have to really feel appreciate about what they have, and then they can by protecting this, by inherit their own heritage to the next generation. That makes a sustainable development. So what we do is, well, I try not to be, because there are a lot of the details of operation to be shared, but I focus a few more. The most importantly is we have to develop, we want to focus on diversity, including cultural diversity or income diversity or skill diversity, and the participation and the support of the whole community. Okay, first of all, we have to create a workshop for women. Where in this workshop, actually we renovate one of the wooden house they don't want, okay? But then we renovate it into a women workshop. In this place, it can perform the function as a women livelihood workshop. At the same time, it also perform as a guest house where guests can come, the travelers can come, and women, they are trained. They know how to serve the guests, and not just by cook. They also can perform as a role that they tell the story, tell the culture, what happened in this culture. Okay, so it's so different. The whole thing is very, and we also, what happened in this workshop is we help the women and also work together to spot any grass, flower, or weed, anything from the community, and we ask different resource person, and then we will develop it into different product. For example, from our video later on, you can watch later on that we have handmade product creams, and we help them. All these resource person will go to the project sites to provide a lot of training and to make sure that we have a set of TOT, so that make sure that without us, they can still capture different livelihood skills. And the present part of the production is last year. It's last week because of the COVID-19. Then we cannot go to China, so that's what actually we just hold an online just like production meeting, and then we watch how the women being trained, they can produce the product which they can sell in Hong Kong or somewhere else. Okay, so the women within this few years, they fully feel that they can see the possibility that, if they open their eye, they can find enough resources with the creativity. They can produce a lot of different service or products. Okay. Yes. And sorry, I can't hear you.
Sorry, that's what the creativity was what was so impactful about your project.
Theory is making no sense.
I unfortunately have to keep us moving forward. So I hated to interrupt you, and we just have a few more awards to give, but I again, another creative project, another impactful out, and makes a difference one person at a time. So congratulations. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Just one word that we believe that any indigenous group or around the world, they can share the same model that will happen. Thank you a lot.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And so we have 3 Changemaker Awards that we're going to, will be the last part of our award ceremony. And our first Changemaker Award goes to... So congratulations. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Well, this is really a surprise. Well, yeah, thank you so much for providing us with this award, and also many congratulations to all the other award winners. Yeah, it's an honor to be part of this. You would like me to speak a little bit about what we do?
Yes, if you could just take a minute.
Okay. Yeah, I will try to be quick. So my name is Maurice Bloem, and I'm the Executive Vice President of an organization called Church World Service. And I'm happy to be here. You know, on the SDG or global website, global goal website, there is written, everyone can contribute to making sure the global goals are met. And we really agree with that. Because we really think, you know, you should not underestimate the power of one. And it was the Dalai Lama who said, if you think you are too small to make a difference, you know, try sleeping with a mosquito. So, you know, CWS has been relying on the power of volunteers, and actually since our inceptions in 1946. And to honor these people, these volunteers, as well as to raise awareness and funds towards SDG 2, is reaching zero hunger, I decided in 2012 to walk the talk, and to be more precise, to walk 100 miles in a week's time. And, you know, I started that to ultimately accumulate 690,000 miles before 2030. So, you know, why 690,000 miles? Well, to symbolize the number of 690 million people who are still dealing with hunger every day. Well, as you can imagine, I realized I can't do that alone. So in our incubation lab, we developed an app, a special project of CWS. And the app allows us to, allows people all around the world to join me, to walk with me, to log their miles and earn points. And basically it's, you know, walking and gamification that goes hand in hand. And we have now participants from all around the globe. And
you can do it virtually.
You can do it virtually, exactly. So, you know, people can not only walk and get points, but they also can watch videos about the SDGs. They can do quizzes, they can read articles, they can sign petitions, and you get points for that. And those points are then ultimately translated into, you know, projects that are supported by my organizations around the world. And so with the help of back donors, you know, that takes place. So we hope, so far, the number of participants is still relatively modest, but we hope to gain more participants by sharing this today. And we're also finding firms, agencies, individuals, you know, everybody who's willing to be a back donor. So besides the 140,000 miles we have walked together so far since 2012, we are raising around 7,500 to 15,000 per 100-mile walk campaign. And in addition, via the app, we rewarded more than 900 awards. And that meant, you know, $12,000 in program aid. So, you know, outside of the
app, change the world.
Exactly. So outside of the app participants, we also, you know, work closely with volunteers, advisors, and interns, and especially young people. We are, you know, encouraging to join us. So this year, I'm going to walk another 100-mile, my 9th, and it will be from October 5 to 9. And for more information, I would like to you to check out our website, 100mile.org. And you can, you know, you can find the app there as well as more information. So thanks a lot for providing us.
Thank you, and congratulations.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And moving on to our second Changemaker Award winner. Well, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the award. I'm Hidayah Ajar. I'm a fourth year student on specializing in international security in Kenya. And I'm the founder and the project leader of Ambassadors of Humanity. If I may share my screen, I would like to have a small presentation about the Ambassadors of Humanity. Okay. So, welcome everyone. I would like to start with our logo. Ambassadors of Humanity project is a student-led countering violent extremism project implemented at the University of Nairobi grant. Our logo is, we have four values actually, is to accept and respect and promote and protect the diversity of differences. I would like to welcome you all with the founding father of Turkey, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk. He once said, "Peace at home, peace in the world." This is an important phrase because it is in the basis of my project. In Ambassadors of Humanity, when I designed the project, first I had to gather students around myself, my colleagues, so together we could make a difference. And we have created the Ambassadors of Humanity Committee. As you can see here in this group picture, these are my friends from various religious backgrounds and also various academic disciplines. In the first, our project was implemented for 8 weeks, and in the first 4 weeks, we had a capacity building meeting with them. In Ambassadors of Humanity project, we have tackled several dimensions of violent extremism in countering it. The first dimension, we understand that individuals are often radicalized to seek recognition of their identity and values. They seek respect and acceptance from the society. They have at times may have an identity crisis in terms of their sexual orientations, their ability, their education, their ethnicity, religion, or gender. And this is a picture from the movie called Look Who Is Back, written by the Timur Worms. In the movie, you might find that our current world order is actually very profitable for the ill-mannered people, for the people of for the violent extremists. Therefore, we have created a program called "What Do You Dream of Humanity?" What Do You Dream for Humanity program. In this program, we asked our friends to take a video of themselves to express their feelings and their dream about the humanity. In doing so, our goals were to show that the commonalities in our dreams, because we have asked them to tell their names, to give, to tell their hobbies, and also their dream about the humanity. And actually, we had reached over 500 students, and most of them were speaking on the same lines when we asked them about their dream. They always dream about the peace, peaceful coexistence, the acceptance, and the equal opportunities on the school grounds or in the life. On the second dimension, we thought that we need to take a strategic perspective to counter every possible outcome of violent extremist actions, since violent extremists have the ideas and the goals of polarizing the society, and through polarized society, they like to recruit new members. To counter this, we had created the Brotherhood and Sisterhood program. We raised awareness to all forms of violent extremism in the University of Nairobi grants, and we have formed dialogue groups with the students from various religious backgrounds. Our goals in doing so was breaking the barriers of ignorance. We wanted to counter violent extremist groups' recruitment process through capacity building about violent extremism. This is a word came out in one of our dialogue meetings. One of the person took a voice and just phrased this from Nelson Mandela. No one is born hating another person because of the color of his skin or his background or his religion. People must learn to hate. And if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love, for love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite. Therefore, We have visited many classes and many student groups in sensitizing them against violent extremism, in sensitizing them about the love and the harmony that exist. We had our T-shirt over here. We said accept, respect, promote, protect the diversity of differences. And this is basically all. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And again, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And finally, our third Changemaker Award winner is... So congratulations. Do we have Dr. Ezekiel Okemwa here to take a minute? Okay, perhaps not. Well, congratulations. Congratulations to all of the winners. It was, for me, as someone who looked at the project and a jury person, I was inspired and just really empowered. These days, what's going on in our world, I sometimes have moments or days where I wonder if things are going to get better. I wonder where the hope is. I wonder, what's mine to do and what lane should I be in. And I just, being able to read about these projects, to watch the awards, and to see just all around the globe, and seeing these SDGs come alive and be acted upon, and furthering a world that works for all is, for me, not just makes my day, it makes my week, it makes my year. So, is Samuel here to talk about the Innovation Award? Because we missed that a little. There's Samuel Amogi. If you would like to come on, you won the Innovation Award, but earlier you weren't there. If you want to turn your camera on and join us, perhaps. We can hear you. Oh, there you are. Congratulations.
Oh, sorry for that.
That's
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, we have a problem with my internet.
Well,
you can hear me
on the Innovation Award.
Thank you.
I don't know if you want to take a minute and say anything about it.
I just want to say thank you so much for the award, and I'm looking forward to continue partnership with you people.
Yes, absolutely. It's absolutely a thread that you see running through every project, through every award, through every innovation, through every activity, is partnership, that we don't do any of this alone. So congratulations to your organization, to you, and
thank you so much.
You're very welcome. So that brings us to the end of our awards program. I want to thank each and every one of the award recipients, the individuals, the organizations. I want to express my thanks to the UN General Assembly, to the Journalists and Writers Foundation for asking me to participate in this way. And I'm not sure what else to say, except that go forward, find something that moves your heart, find a project that you heard about in the award, something that just spoke to you, that you're willing to take a little step further today, that you're willing to move beyond the imagination or what you're thinking about or what sounds like something you might participate in, and actually go do it. And you can go online and find out more. From here, what you're watching live, there are other links that you can follow and just do something that awakens your heart. You know, it doesn't have to be hard and it doesn't have to be difficult and really painful to make a difference in the world. We all have something to give. We are created to give. We are created to support each other. We are created to be compassionate, to be in compassionate service. We create our world, so let's create a world that we want to be in environmentally, in terms of human rights, in terms of education, of women, of girls, of healthcare, of language, of arts, of culture. Go find out more about the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and go find what's yours to do. So thank you again. I'm Reverend Kelly Isla. It's been my joy and my privilege to be with you today. Again, congratulations to all of the winners.